so homework help for 3-5, starting with number 1 is our first assigned one. It says write each in roster form and in set builder notation, okay? So roster form is when we list it out. Set builder notation is when we have to do like the description and the inequality and all of this stuff, okay? So the first one says M is the set of integers, so that's important, it's going to be integers, that are greater than -5, okay? So roster form, let's start with that. So we're going to start with M equals and a bracket. Roster form is the list, okay? So what is the first integer that is greater than -5? -4. What's the next integer that is greater? The next one? Okay, now traditionally you list at least 3, but if it keeps going, right, then you got to do the 2, 3 dots. Does this keep going forever? Yeah, okay. So then we're going to do dot, dot, dot. This is the answer for roster form. Okay? Now, I'm going to do these in separate colors just to keep it consistent. So in set builder notation, let's do it again. So we're going to still start with, if it tells you the name of the set, you start with that letter. So the name of the set here is M. So we're going to say M equals, and we're going to make a bracket. And then we have to list a variable. For our cases today, our variable we're just going to say is X every time unless they tell us something else. And then you make a line. And the next thing we list is the set it belongs to. Yep. And so we can either write X is an integer, or we can say it like this: X is an element of the integers. Like that. And then we do a comma. And then we either do a description, which I'll show you in a minute, or we do an inequality. In this case, greater than -5, does that mean description or inequality? Inequality. So we're going to say X is greater than -5, and we're going to end it. And that's our set builder notation. Okay? 2 different ones. Okay, let's do another one that's a little bit more challenging. The next 2 are a little more challenging, okay? So again, I'm going to do my roster form first in purple. So it says N is the set of even numbers that are less than 2.5. Okay, so we'll start with N equals, and then we're going to do a bracket, and this is the easy one, right? We just have to list them. So what's the first even number? Don't yell it out, raise your hand. First even number that is less than 2.5. What would be, Joel? 2.4 is technically correct, right? So we're going to say, I'm going to add something to this. Let's do even integers. Okay? So what is the first even integer less than 2.5? Go. 2. What's the next even integer less than 2.5? 0. What's the next one? Would this keep going? Dot, dot, dot. Yeah, we're doing less than. All right, so we have to add this to it, and otherwise we would have to do the points on it. Okay, now we're going to do our set builder. All right, so we're going to still start with N equals. We're going to list our variable X. All right, and in this case, right, we did we changed it to integer, but we also have the word even in here, okay? So if it gives that, when you do the description, you would say X is part of the description, comma. Does it make sense to do a inequality here? Okay, who thinks they know the inequality? David, go ahead.
X is less than 2.5.
Yep. Could you even say X is less than or equal to 2? Yes, because we added the integer, right? So in that case, we could do that. All right. Good. Let's do it again. I know it's going to be like, okay, let's do it again. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, let's do it again. All right. Until we get this, because it's going to take us some time. P is the set of natural numbers that are factors of 25. Okay. So what do you raise your hand and tell me, what do I start with writing? Let's see how it go. Not M. And a bracket. Who can give me the list of elements in the set? And by elements, I mean numbers. Joel, what are they? No, 24 is not a factor of 25, Carla. 1 is a factor, right? Because you can divide it by 1. 5 is a factor, and 25 is a factor. Are there any others? No, that's it. This one doesn't get a dot because there's no more. That's it. All right, that's the easy part. Let's do the next part. Do we start the same? Okay. P equals bracket, then what? X line. Okay. And in this set, it doesn't tell us what set it belongs to. However, we only have 3 numbers. What are all these numbers belonging to? Natural, yes. X. Oh, it does say it. I'm sorry. I didn't read it. Yeah, it says natural. And they all belong to it anyway. Natural numbers. Now, this is where, remember, the last thing can be an inequality or a description. This one's a description. The description is X is a factor of what? 25. Okay. Circle number 4. You're going to go back and do that without my help as a try. Okay. So number 4 is going to be for you to do. All right. What? Okay. Let's do number 5 together. All right. Number 5. It's listing it in roster form. It wants us to put it in set builder format. Okay. So let's do it. So let's go ahead. What do I start with? Raise your hand if you think you know. Go ahead, David. Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. Now, if you look at this set, they are integers. Good. So it's element of the integers. And then we have to give either an inequality or a description. David, go.
X is less than -4.
No. Okay. Now let's go. On. Yep. Or you could put X is greater than or equal to -3. It doesn't matter. They're both. They both would work here. All right. I will tell you the answer key wants us to use -3, but technically you could, if you did just greater than -4, and the fact that it says it's integers takes care of that. All right. Let's do a more challenging one. Let's do 6. Okay. Raise your hand if you know how to start 6. Anna, go ahead. Yep, M equals bracket, and then X in our little E, right? Do you know the set that all of these numbers are going to be in? There's a set. Which set is it? Go ahead, Kaden. Okay, we're going to use that, but I want the set. Is it natural? Is it integer? Is it whole? Okay? All right, I hear lots of you knowing what it is. It's natural. Natural numbers. Okay, those are all the natural numbers. And now and Kaden is right. If we're not going to use a inequality necessarily, we could. We need a description kind of and an inequality. All right, watch. So the description is X is even. The inequality is this. Now this is, okay, so X is greater than or equal to 2, and what else? Less than or equal to what? 10. There's not 3 dots. It doesn't keep going, okay? It doesn't keep going. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, for the sake of time, so 4, I want you to go back to and do 5 and 6. We'll practice 7 and 8 tomorrow. Okay. So we're not going to worry about those. I do want to go down to the bottom now. Okay. Because this is really where we're going with this. Okay. So it says write the solutions of each inequality in set builder. Of course, it's set builder notation. Okay. So the solutions means you have to solve it, then write your answer as our set builder. So number 9, let's start with number 9. So we got to solve it. So the first move to solve this guy would be to do what? Go ahead on. -5 on both sides. Yep. So now I have 2y is less than, and then what do? Divide by 2. Okay. So I got y is less than 8. And now we're going to use all of this space. So we're going to cross out 10 for right now and 11 because we're going to use this space to answer 9. Okay. So now that's our inequality. Let's write it in set builder notation. Now, does it tell you the name of a set? No. So if it doesn't, you can just start with your bracket. What's the next part? X in a line, right? Now, in this case, it doesn't tell you what set it's from. So if it doesn't tell you, you have to assume that X is an element of the real numbers. Comma. What do I end with? Y is less than what? End bracket. So, on all of these, is there any of them that give you like a description of them being anything other than real numbers? No. So the description in the middle for all of this section is going to be what? Real numbers. What's the only thing that's actually going to change? The inequality at the end. Okay, what I would like you to do is now circle. So you've already circled 4. I would like you to circle 12, 14, and 16. Cross out 13 and 15 and 17 because you're going to need that space to to do the answers. So your assignment today is to do 4, 12, 14, 16. Sound good? Perfect. Great job paying attention today on something new.